Thank you for your time. Lot to talk about. But I wanted to go back to the start because it's been quite a journey for you. I believe you wanted to be a musician from childhood. I mean, which pop star made the biggest impact on you?
Ooh, um, I think actually might be a rock star that we're thinking about. So I used to have this massive crush on Matt Bellamy from Muse.
Oh, right, okay, yeah,
Yeah. When I was about 14, 15, I was like recording all these covers and posting them on Muse forums. And I even wrote a song for him, which thankfully I didn't post on the internet because it was so cringe. But yeah, so I guess the style that I'm singing and writing now is completely different.
yeah.
But if you listen to the stuff I was making when I was 16, it was basically trying to copy them, even
Right.
with the breath and all that. Like it's so funny.
What what
Um,
what what was it about Matt Bellamy or Muse, or what was it about the music that had an impact on you?
I think it was it's quite dramatic and he doesn't really hold back.
Yeah,
And also I liked that the subjects of the songs, the topics, I mean, they're not just, love songs or whatever other pop music
yeah,
I was listening to. So, outer space and conspiracy theories, and it kind of made you want to read more about that. And
yeah. Okay, I mean, in terms of just generally then as a child, were you exposed to a lot of music? I mean, who are your favorite bands other than Muse?
um, and Green Day as well. I wanted to have a punk band actually at the beginning, but I didn't have the voice for it. I know it's very like it's you probably weren't expecting.
No, I wasn't, but well, kind of, we can have this conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. Um, but if I have to admit that it all started with Britney Spears.
Oh, okay. So from Britney Spears to Green Day and punk, then what was the journey?
Then I was obsessed for a while with Dresden Dolls.
Yeah,
Yeah, Amanda Palmer and all that. I've had a quite a big phase of playing piano and singing, and I even tried a duo with a drummer and piano.
yeah,
Not very original. What else? I like I don't know. I like quite a wide range of music.
yeah,
Like when I was a teenager, it wasn't cool to like pop music,
right,
and now it's a bit more like basically everything goes.
yeah,
Everyone kind of listens to almost everything, which is it's nice.
yeah.
It's
I
nice that
mean,
there's no kind of
what
judgment.
about now? What's on your Spotify playlist?
Um, I'm into, let's see. I quite liked the latest Mitski album,
Yeah,
and I like Ethel Cain.
right,
Last year I was listening to a lot of like Phoebe Bridgers.
right.
I've liked Sufjan Stevens for a while, and still is on my favorites. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, just going forward, then obviously the new album is out on April the 19th. Um,
Yes.
Second album. I mean, as somebody looking at wanting to be a musician when they grew up, how does it feel now to be releasing your second album?
Um, I guess it's pretty cool because I'm making physical copies as well, and it's quite nice. I
Yeah.
actually received them a few days ago, and I made cassettes and CDs, and
Okay.
I'm still waiting for the vinyl. But yeah, it really is different when you can actually hold it and be
Yeah.
like, because I did all the artwork as well and everything. I'm like, this just came from me, like all of it.
Yeah. I mean, what does that feel like when you think of that and you look at it and like you said, a lot of bands don't really do physical products anymore. I mean, what made you do that?
So just like with the first album, I actually did a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's valid for all the music campaigns that happen over there, but it seems like the demographic that tends to back these campaigns, they still like to own music in physical formats, and many of them are audiophiles. And so that was one reason, and the second reason is just cool to have.
Yeah. It's always
I
nice
can,
to hold the vinyl and look at the cover and read the lyrics.
yeah, I can put them on the table at the merch table when I do my launch gig and look at
Yeah.
people awkwardly when they come to chat.
Okay, I
Um,
mean, yeah, I mean, just going on to the album then. I mean, musically, it sounds like your music kind of or would appeal to a kind of wide demographic of fans. I mean, there's kind of indie to retro pop, kind of 90s stuff. Is that the case? Is that what you wanted to achieve, just to appeal to everybody? Because, like you said earlier, I mean, pop music's it's you can listen, anybody can listen to anything these days.
yeah, I think so. My first album was called City of My Mind, and it's quite different. It's a bit more experimental, a bit darker. It's technically a chamber pop
Right.
album. You've got like orchestras playing on some of the songs, so it's quite different. And I don't know. Lately, I've just been into synths and catchy
Right.
melodies, and I kind of realized that, not all music has to have this deep meaning. Like sometimes you can just have fun and just write some catchy tunes and just enjoy making it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not trying to achieve anything too deep with this album. It's just,
Right.
yeah, I just kind of wrote whatever I felt like.
Okay. I mean, what could you tell us about some of the songs? Because I believe there's some quite kind of modern themes on it, like social media. You've covered social media, things like that. I mean, could you just
Yeah.
tell us a bit about the album?
So the whole album, I guess the whole idea behind it is self-acceptance in relation to expectations.
Right.
That can be society's expectations or our own self-expectations. Um, it's called Little Wins. I had a hard time coming with the title actually.
Yeah.
It's quite a bittersweet
Right.
idea. So I'm kind of trying to make it sound all inspirational, and it's about celebrating the journey and not always looking at the climb up ahead, but looking back at how far we've come and celebrating that. But it's also about realizing that, maybe not all of us are that one in a million success story,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And, maybe that success is not astronomical, but it's also not nothing.
Yeah.
And we should actually celebrate it.
Definitely. Definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, looking back on your own journey, I mean, what do you think of when you look at that journey and what you've achieved? I mean, you've two albums that you've in now. Like you said, you're doing gigs. I mean, you've achieved quite a lot. I mean, when you look back at that journey, what do you think of it? Has it been a difficult journey
Um,
or a fun one?
yeah, I think when I moved to the UK about 10 years ago
Yeah.
to study music tech, and
Right.
with this whole idea of coming here for the music industry, and not realizing that I didn't actually know anyone at all. And this whole music industry is about networking and also knowing the right people and all that. And it was very much everything that I kind of achieved was just done very slowly,
Yeah.
like a lot of work and a slow process. It was definitely a growth, but it was kind of all just by myself, really.
Okay. I mean, what did you learn from that journey and those experiences?
Work smart, not hard.
Yep. I've
I
definitely
was
done it the
just,
other way around.
yeah, like for a big chunk of it, I was just churning out songs and just putting them online, just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And then you kind of realize that there's a lot more that is involved in the release of music.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
in terms of your journey, how important do you think it was to move to the UK?
I think it
Career.
was definitely, I would have definitely made different music if I stayed.
I mean, what have you learned from? Because where do you live? Do you live in London?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I live in London now. Well, first of all, I did meet a lot of people at uni and played with them and kind of learned just from them. And the course that I was doing, the music tech course, I got so much better at producing. So I produce all my songs, and that's because when I was in Romania, I had lots of experiences with studios where I wasn't getting what I wanted.
Right. Okay.
Just have this in Romania, it's still kind of always a guy,
Right.
and you try to explain to them what you want, and it's so much easier if I just do it, and I actually quite enjoy that process. It's almost my favorite part, the
Yeah.
songwriting, the producing, like in the studio.
Okay. I mean, just in terms of songwriting, then you've just put out a single, Invisible Walls. Um,
Yeah.
but I've read that that was held back. I mean, you wrote it from in 2017. I mean, what was the reason for holding it back? And you know, in terms of releasing it now, why do you think it fits in with the material you've written for Little Wins?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. So I wrote it in, at the time I was living in a village near Cambridge called Saffron Walden.
Oh yeah,
And now that actually this just occurred to me, it was quite cut off. Like I don't drive.
right.
So if I wanted to go into Cambridge, I had to wait for a bus that came every hour.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was feeling a bit trapped.
Right.
So now I'm wondering maybe that's why I was writing about invisible walls.
Okay.
Yeah, never thought about it. Um, but yeah, basically around that time, I was writing my first album, which, as I explained, was quite different to this retro pop thing that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I was also toying with the idea of playing gigs as a duo
Okay.
and doing like lots of like live looping,
Yeah.
like a live looping set. So I tried to write a song that would work for that. And if you listen to it, it doesn't sound super boring, but it's actually just two chords, the
Yeah.
whole song. The only time it changes in the chorus is the same chords, but they're swapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and when I was trying to come up with a track list for this album, I just couldn't think what to start with. Nothing felt right.
Right.
I sort of remembered this song, and it just, I don't know, it just fit right in. It's got this nice intro. It's like a really nice opener and kind of the fun beats and even the lyrics. I just changed them a little bit to go with the rest of the album. So I'm
Right.
talking about silver and gold, like the medals,
Yeah.
which is a reference to another song which is called Second Best.
Right.
And yeah, it's just like a pep talk,
Okay.
but the whole album is an alternation of like self encouragement followed
Okay.
by self deprecation.
Yeah.
You kind of go, it's kind of like, I don't know, you're having a bad day and you put some music on and you start dancing around and you're trying to hype yourself up, but at the same time you don't really believe it.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that's, I don't know, it just fits, and it fits in the sound as well, because the other songs are also, there are quite a few that are more like retro.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of then, just as a bit kind of bit light-hearted, what music do you put on to kind of get pep you up or kind of?
Oh, okay. uh, Slightly embarrassing. I mean, it's not embarrassing. um I like Pet Shop Boys, like when I
Yeah.
wanna, yeah, I just put It's a Sin on and I'm just like, that's my jam. Or my other one, The Killers, The Man.
Right. It's just behind me again. I can see. Oh, all right. Okay. I mean, just obviously, just staying on the light-hearted thing. I mean, you grew up in Romania. If you could bring something back from your childhood, like a toy or a TV show or just something from that era of your life into 2024, what would you pick and why?
Ooh, okay, slightly controversial. I used to be a massive Star Wars fan.
Oh,
So I would bring back, the joy of seeing the original trilogy for the first time and the new movies not existing.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Are you not a big fan of new Star Wars then?
Gosh, no. I literally said that they destroyed my childhood.
Right, okay. Because I liked the new movies. I didn't like the original new movies, the kind of first three. I think we could do without those. Maybe not Revenge of the Sith, but the first
Oh,
two.
I just didn't like what they did to Luke.
Right, okay.
They kind of reversed his whole character arc and, you
Yeah.
know,
Okay. I
killed
mean,
killed a childhood hero.
yeah.
But yeah.
I was going to ask then if you could be any character in Star Wars, who would you play?
Yeah, I'd be Luke Skywalker.
Perfect. Brilliant. Okay, I mean, just to wrap up then, it's been great talking to you. I'm looking forward to hearing the album and catching you live. The album's out in April. Kind of, in terms of your journey, what are your ambitions for the rest of the year?
Um, I've been electing the live side for the past couple of years, so I'm
Right.
kind of putting a band back together. And after we do the launch party, which I don't have an exact date for, but it will be around the album release.
Okay.
I'm really hoping to do a few more gigs around the UK. So when I did after my first album, I did like a small UK tour, and I'm probably gonna try to replicate the same thing. But other than that, I don't know, just hoping that more people will discover my music. And last year I didn't put out that much music. I think it was just 2 singles.
Right.
So it's gonna be quite a difference to have, more songs out there and see the people's reaction to them.